Hello again, everybody. This is Jess, and today I'm going to discuss why I feel that Korean drama, I mean, not just Korean, but Asian dramas are so popular in America and around the world, but especially here in America, in my view. Okay, to get started. Well, first, unlike the American version of drama, the American dramas and soap operas, majority of the Asian dramas start when they find a story or a plot and they actually keep to it. Yes, they'll have subplots that have to do with the other people and can branch out to form a new story, but by the end of the series or by the end of that season, they will have come up and fixed everything to let you see how it ended. If it's the seasonal one, it builds up to get ready for the next one, but it doesn't necessarily leave you on the cliffhanger like a lot of American dramas want to do. And this is really popular nowadays for some reason. I haven't figured it out, but it's why I feel a lot of American drama ideas have failed, including a couple of them this past year. One of which was a spy type thriller with Lauren Cohen. I think that's her name. She played Belle on Supernatural. I mean, she played Bella on Supernatural. One of the reasons I feel it failed is because it just did a day of the week. It did a adventure of the week thing rather than actually having an overall story that made sense. Another reason I think the Asian dramas do better is because the actors that take on these roles are actually closer to their age, so it makes it more believable when they're playing these roles, and not just that they're better actors. Because America had, because American actors are good too, but an example of this, and I'm sorry if I butcher these Asian names. Annie Shin in the show Inborn Pair was in her early to mid 20s in real life. Well, in the show, she's playing a character in her early to mid 20s who's trying to get her license to become a lawyer. And she is now actually 30 years old. This show came out in 2011 and ran for 60 something, 60 to 80 something episodes. An example, a really good one in my view, of a person who was playing way young, who's playing way too young to be believed, is Rizzo in Grease, his actress Dr. Channing. At the time, she was playing a 17-year-old in that movie. She was 33 years old. Sun Ji Hyun, again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, in a show in a show called she is the American translation of it was She Is Over 200 Years Old. Played a character that looked like she was in her early to mid 20s at most, when the actress in this role was 29 now. But at that time, she was in her mid 20s at most. And she was playing a character who was supposed to be over 200. Gabrielle Carteris, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, many would remember as Andrea Zuckerman on Beverly Hills 90210, which, as many know, as of this week, should have done its season finale for the reboot, remake. I'm not sure how to define what they did with this season, though I do like that they actually made them portray versions of their real life selves rather than just trying to restart the show on its own type deal. But when she was doing the show back in the 90s and came on as her character of Andrea Zuckerman, in real life she was 29. On the show, she was 16 character-wise. But a lot of people didn't believe it because of the way she dressed, and even were known to refer to her as the mother, as the 90210 mother of the group. Chris Wong, I want to say Wong's the actual pronunciation. Another the male lead in the show Inborn Pair. He played the GM of a family hotel chain, and he was only supposed to, and he was playing 25, 26 years old, same or around the same age as Annie Shun's character, and he was actually 25 at the time he did that role. Another one America was known for, even then it was known that he was playing way older than he really was, Michael J. Fox. And a great example of this was in Back to the Future, when he played Marty McFly, who was 17 years old. At that time, Michael J. Fox was actually 29 years old. Surprised me. I didn't remember him being that old. I thought he was in his mid-20s at most. Yang Yang was born in 1991. He's 28 years old this year. A role he played in 2016 in a series called Love 020, which you can see on Netflix, as with most of the Asian dramas I've seen. It had him as a college student, and he was one of the most popular, great ones, most liked type deals. And he was supposed to be a senior in college at that time, which he would have been. But the biggest surprise to me, because I honestly didn't know this, and I looked it up on multiple places to make sure, the character of Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off was the biggest surprise to me. Alan Ruck, who played the character, was 30 years old when he played an 18-year-old in that movie, the best friend of Matthew Broderick's title character. Another reason that I believe the Asian dramas do so well is the amount of episodes they can do. For them, they can have a season be as few as 6 episodes, and they will have everything within those 6 episodes settled that makes sense and explains everything, or they can draw it out like a lot of soap operas do and have it be like 60 to 80 episodes, and that'll be just one season of the show, even though that'll more than likely be the only season to that show. As for why they're different and how they're set, I don't know how they come up with this, because there's some of them I've seen where I think they need more episodes because it would have been a great show to continue, or they could have expanded more on some things. And there's others where they had a lot of episodes that I felt that they should have had fewer episodes and condensed a lot of stuff, and they could have marked out a lot, and it would have worked just as well. Also, unlike American episodes, a lot of your Asian-based dramas will have it where the show continues from whatever the previous episode ended on. Like if it was two characters in the rain talking, the next episode will begin from that moment. Or it will begin with a few moments later. It won't be like, oh, this happened, and the next episode will be like 2-3 weeks later type deal. Which I actually enjoy more because it helps me to stay in the story when they do this. Okay, and the final reason I believe that Korean dramas do so well is how they deal with subjects. America tends to make things fall into the category of supernatural or some love story of a high fashion. Well, in the Korean dramas, a lot of them, but in Asian dramas in general, they do things differently. They don't just focus on this and that. They focus on the daily lives of the persons important as the character themselves are. Like the person, like in the case of Inborn Perry, you had the hotel chain owner, a hotel chain runner, and you had the girl who, the main actress, the lead actress in it was playing the role of a paralegal trying to become a lawyer. But you could have characters that are in school trying to get their college degree that are working jobs in restaurants, or they could be working in law firm. They could be working as real estate agents or telemarketers, even. Or even, as I saw in one show I recently watched, one of the main stars in it was actually a tutor to help pay for her college tuition. Another thing, like I said, even in Asian dramas, as in American dramas, love and romance seems to be a highly common interest in their drama. In these things, which is understandable because a lot of people want to find a couple that they can root for, or one they want to see destroyed, and see how it goes. And that's how a lot of shippers are born. You can look at General Hospital, One Life to Live, Days of Our Lives in America and versions, and find wars over this, basically. And a big difference between Asian and American dramas, how important family is. To a lot of Asian dramas, you'll find focus on a person's backstory that shows why the family's so important to them, rather than one that'll be like, oh, I'm rich, so why should I care about my family, or what should I do for anything to do with my family? And I think this is actually a good idea because it reflects how a lot of Asian cultures were shown to believe that the family matters most, and not just the personal life of somebody. And some of these dramas even show that when a person in the family has committed a crime or an offense, it reflects on the rest of the family. To where, like, the father dies owing money to somebody, the family has to take up the debt and find a way to pay it back. Which, while I see it as unfair, I can understand it because it's showing the amount of honor that the family has in doing so. Okay, now I'm going to give you my list of the top 10 Asian dramas to watch. And starting with number 10, Million Yen Women. This one was based off of a manga and got made into a live action drama. And what I find interesting about this one is that while it seems like it's going nowhere, it actually does have a story, and it even has a good twist thrown in for it. Number 9 on my list, is one I've recently started watching. I haven't even finished it yet, but I've enjoyed every bit of it I've watched so far. It's called Stay Tuned, and it talks about the dealings at a news station, focusing mainly on a girl trying to get a job there. Again, I don't know if that's actually what it is, or if that's just how the story's led up so far. Oh My Ghost, number 8 on my list. This one is about two girls who love to cook. One, as the title suggests, is a ghost and doesn't know how she died or remember anything about it, but still remembers how much she loves her family and how much she loved to cook. Another one is a girl who wants to be a cook, but her confidence level keeps causing her to make mistakes and have issues. And throughout the series, you see how they both grow and even get to the reveal, which I kind of had figured out eventually, but it was nice the way they built it up still to show what what the girl's actual death, what actually caused the ghost's death. Uh, Number 7, I have a tie between Love Alarm and Love 020. In Love 020, it starts out, it's about kids in college, and this girl gets dumped by her online boyfriend in a game, and another one picks her up. And then it shows how each of these characters that are in the game, how their real life counterparts grow in life. And even how some of the relationships from the games carry over to the real life versions of their lives. Love Alarm is about this phone app, as much as technology's grown today, showing this, where you push a button and it connects to your heart. And whenever you come into contact with somebody within so much of a distance, it'll beep to let you know that they like you. What makes this one interesting is how it shows how sometimes the knowing can be dangerous, and how sometimes what we feel can get us into trouble, or it can lead to great things in the process. Number 6, The Nightmare Teacher, also known in some areas as Nightmare High. This one revolves around a class where a new teacher comes into the school and becomes their teacher. Yet he seems to know all these students really well and be able to grant their fondest wishes. To me, this one is actually a really good example of the be careful what you wish for deal. Number 5, Love Cells. Another one where it's a romantic comedy type deal, where a person's love cell, as it's known, actually comes to life and tries to help them find love so that it can actually live rather than die. Because without these cells, people become emotionless and uncaring individuals, incapable of love. Number 4, this one actually comes in a series rather than in season. This one I list as a series because it has multiple seasons to it. It's called Let's Eat. What makes this one great is that while it deals with the daily lives and has a lot of comedy and action to it, meanwhile a lot of comedy and shows human interaction in it, it actually focuses around the area of food and tells you things that you may not know about it, and what they actually did learn about it. It even shows people actually getting into arguments over food and how it should be prepared or how it should be eaten. Number 3 on the list, My Girlfriend is a Gumio. For those that don't know, Gumio is another way of saying nine-tailed fox. In this one, you get a romance between a guy and a girl who he finds out is actually a nine-tailed fox who tricked him in a way. Well, now the girl actually falls for the guy and wants to become human and finds that there is a way, but it is going to be painful in the way it happens. And what makes this one so good is how it does the ending and how it reveals the story with everything that works out in the way that it's done. Number 2, I may have the title wrong in the pronunciation, Madame Antoine, where it's about a scientist who likes to do this study, proving that love doesn't exist and that he can make anybody feel the sensation of love and be willing to do whatever he wants them to. And it's even shown in the opening where he's actually proven his experiment to work at least once, where he has this girl sitting up there with a bunch of bows in a tree, around trees and stuff, professing her love to this person who, as it turns out, doesn't actually exist. That he actually did make up. But what makes it interesting is that when he goes to apply for this building and put a name on it, it turns out he can't because the name's actually already in use by a psychic who actually does try to help with matters of love and other things. And this one starts out in your traditional American fashion of, I hate you, you hate me, we're not going to get along. The opposites attract is what this basically becomes. But it has an overall story that falls in nicely and works well. Number 1, Inborn Pair. Because even though I think it went longer than it should have, the story has a good beginning, middle, and end. And it actually works in the way it's done. There's a lot of comedy, drama. I actually thought it was a real soap opera style if it had been in America. But America couldn't have done it in the amount of episodes and had it work. Well, let me know your favorite in the Asian TV market, and animes and cartoons do not count. I want actual dramas. Otherwise, I would have included one called The Compulsive Gambler. Even though it has a live action version, the anime of it is actually more important in comparison to me. The live action version basically copies it with like a minor difference in certain areas. So that's why I did not include it. But like I said, let me know your favorite Asian drama, and feel free to leave your comment at the bottom, and also suggestion for another episode. Have fun, everybody.